Welcome back to Ozarks Fox AM. Kaylee has a medical story that is out of this world. Kaylee?
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of people suffer from blood clots every year, but for the first time ever, the life-threatening condition is treated in outer space. Take a look.
It's pretty heady stuff, getting a phone call like this.
I picked up the phone and NASA was on the phone, said it was urgent.
Did you catch that? NASA was on the phone. As a kid, Dr. Stephen Mall wanted to be an astronaut, so he was a little starry-eyed.
It was surprising, it was an honor, it was, I was curious to see where that would lead.
It would lead to the International Space Station, where an astronaut had a blood clot. And Dr. Mall is a star when it comes to his blood clot expertise, having been published in medical journals. For privacy reasons, the astronaut was not identified, but the clot was found in the jugular vein. This was the first blood clot case in space, and NASA had no protocol.
All decisions that had to be made were best guesses.
The doctor couldn't help but ask, would NASA send him to the station to examine the patient himself?
So I should really be taken up there. And their response was, we'll see what we can do and we'll get back to you.
Dr. Mall remained earthbound while consulting a team of NASA doctors. If the clot weren't treated, it could spread to the lungs or brain and become far more serious. The typical treatment on Earth is blood thinners, but how would they work in zero gravity?
One needed to weigh the risk-benefit of starting a blood thinner or not using a blood thinner.
He and the team agreed to put the astronaut on blood thinners, with Dr. Mall directing the dosage. The space station had only a limited supply, but the treatment worked. Dr. Mall even had a phone call from his patient.
My wife picked up, and it actually was here's the International Space Station, and she handed it on to me saying there's somebody from outer space who wants to talk to you.
Enough to make a well-grounded doctor feel on top of the world.
I think everyone would love to pick up that phone, getting a call from outer space. Very cool stuff. Some more statistics on DVT. Close to 1 million people suffer from deep vein thrombosis. Those symptoms include pain, pale color, or redness in your skin, numbness, loss of feeling, and coolness to the touch. Clots are most dangerous when they travel to the lungs, a potentially life-threatening situation, or to the brain, where they can cause a stroke. And those, the lymphatic, or the vein that he had, I think was in this region, so very close to both the brain and the lungs.
Wow. Always
seek professional help whenever you assess any of those symptoms. Your doctor is your best bet there. Also to note, astronauts undergo vigorous physical examinations, and when in space, they work out for 2 hours a day.
They do?
So they are in top shape. This probably came as
a surprise.
A surprise, yeah.
I never thought that blood clots had any symptoms, because I've talked to people who knew people that had blood clots, no symptoms whatsoever.
It can come quick, too. So maybe they didn't catch the symptoms, or maybe the symptoms didn't last long enough to catch.
Okay.
And I'm curious to know how this astronaut knew he had one.
Well, that's why I was saying.
Yeah, like how do you even know? Maybe he had those symptoms you were talking about.
Right, and maybe he or she, I guess I can't say he, it could have been a she, but maybe he just took extra precaution, especially since you're in space. I mean, I wouldn't want to have my life ended.
Right.
Not on Earth.
No.
But I think that would be scary.
Why? How in the world did they know, with the limited supplies they have on that space station? It's not very big.
No.
How did they know to, let's put some blood thinners in that medicine cabinet.
Well, yeah.
Like, how did you know to keep those and they had the right...
Because they had no protocol.
Yeah, thank goodness they thought of that.
Yeah, because...
Now, was that, so it was a medicine, not just an aspirin?
I would assume so. Maybe they relied on aspirin just to get him or her through like his or her space flight, because some flights are longer than others. So it could have been aspirin. It could have been a higher dosage of something else.
Well, it is interesting. I was wondering about the symptoms too, Jeremy, because I didn't realize there were. So it's like, how did he or she know? But evidently.
By the way, I don't know how many. Do you know how many people are in the space station? I don't.
I don't.
I don't know either. But I'm just saying, you have a chance of guessing the person, like 1 in 4. I don't think there's more than 4 people in the space station.
Right.
I don't think. But I know you want to keep their identity. The doctors want to keep it private. But I'm like, we could just play a guessing game, I guess. But Well, we're praying for their recovery and making it back to Earth very safely.
And that'd be a terrifying situation in space. I think that
everything in space would be terrifying.
You know what? I don't want to go to Africa with Cammie.
I don't want to go to. You know what? I may be a little spacey sometimes, but I don't want to go up there in a.
Don't want to go to space.
No, don't want to go to space.
I'm
Where
fine
else?
with that.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Guess what? I'm happy right here in Missouri.
I like my feet on the ground right here in misery, right here.
Yes, all right. Coming up, it's celebrity birthday time. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Do you want to give us your Cher impersonation now?
Oh, 2020. That was like Kermit the Frog.